Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Dragoon X Omega I. Last episode, Nika found the Nuke Tech badge that allowed her to access Nuke Tech and finally combined the uranium core and the titanium cylinder together to make an atomic bomb. And she's going to use that atomic bomb now to destroy a mountain that's blocking the entrance to Tia Naar, where the Neverborn is located. Between the episodes, I did a little bit of level grinding. Mainly I wanted to get to level 19, but I ended up grinding a little extra. Got to level 20. I was watching Dungeon Diving on Retro Gaming Live TV. And I got so involved in it that I forgot how fast time was going. So I ended up grinding that extra level. And so the main reason I wanted to get to at least level 19 is because we have to go to the bottom floor of Tia Naar to get the Omega rifle. That's the only piece of equipment that we're missing. We ended up getting the Sigma shield. We bought that in Usand. And to the south of Usand, last episode, we got the Gamma armor, the strongest armor in the game, from the runes of Gamma Tech. So all we need, like I said, all we're missing is the Omega rifle, the strongest weapon in the game. And that is at the bottom of Tia Naar, where the Neverborn's at. It's not like Odric's sword in the base game where you can go basically halfway through the dungeon. In this one, we're going to have to go all the way to the bottom floor, which means that we'll be encountering the strongest enemies in the game, the Greater Renderers, Red Horrors, and the Mind Slay that we get at level 19 is going to be really helpful in taking care of the Greater Renderers. So that's basically the strongest Knight-type enemy, the equivalent of the Armored Knight in the base game. So we get down to the snowy area. In the middle is the way we went to go to Usan. To the very far south is how we got to the Gamma Tech. If we go the northern route, that's going to take us to basically Tia Naar. But before we get to Tia Naar, we're going to run into this cave here. And this cave is basically the equivalent of Odric's cave in the base game. Odric's cave in the base game was to the north of Cantland. It was basically the first place you went to. Other than Brecony, the town. And you basically got a little bit of the plot to the game. Now we just basically held off the plot until the very end of this game. So this is where we're going to learn more about Vesti, the techno goddess, and how she relates to the Neverborn. So Vesti crashed here long ago. A man found her and nursed her to health, and soon they loved each other. But their genes were not meant to bind, and the child would not be born. Though she wielded the technology, she understood it not. So she gave it to us to develop it further. For genetics, so that she may bear her child. She spoke of returning to take us to paradise. But it is a lie. She hates us, for it was one of us who caused her this suffering. So it turns out that Vesti, the techno goddess, really isn't the benevolent goddess that myths have basically made her out to be. She gave the technology not for our benefit, but for us to potentially benefit her and allow her to bear the child that she couldn't bear because of the incompatibility of her genetics with the man who saved her. So turns out the goddess is actually immortal, a mortal being, not an immortal, but she's mortal and she wants to have a kid, and she can't have the kid because of genetics, and she hopes that by giving technology, humans could basically come up with a science to allow her to have the child. But I guess in all that time waiting, she's just learned to hate man. So, well, now that we know that she's evil, I guess we're going to have to take her out too, along with the Neverborn. So we get to this mountain here. Unfortunately, our skunk spray ran out. But luckily, the monsters around here are really weak, so we can run from them very easily. But we use the nuclear bomb, and that gets us over that mountain, or through that mountain, and allows us to head to Tia Naar, the Neverborn's lair. It's kind of a mazy passage, but it's more complicated than what it kind of looks like. So we start here. The southwest leads to a dead end. You can go either to the northwest or the southeast to get to the end, the bottom floor. I'm going to take both ways. I'll show off this way first. This way is a little bit more complicated, but allows us to get another treasure chest on the way down. So I'm going to head to the southeast here, and there's a lot of staircases, but they're kind of deceptive because a lot of the staircases just loop in around on each other. So if we went to the north a little bit there, we'd run into two staircases. If you go down one on the left, it takes you to the one on the right. If you go on the one on the right, it takes you to the one on the left. Just like the staircase to the lower left there, well, just if you go down that one, you run into a hallway, they'll take you to the staircase in the upper left there. So a lot of staircases, like I said, they just loop around to one another. So we'll be avoiding most of the staircases. We do want to go down this one staircase, not because we need to, but because I want to get all the treasure chests in the game, and that staircase leads to a treasure chest here. It's a pointless treasure chest. It's just going to be money, and we don't need any money anymore. But we do need to fill out our bestiary, so it allows us to run into some new enemies like that. Blue Horror. It's just a stronger, scaly horror. The blue dragon compared to the green dragon. No real tricks that you need to take care of it. The red horror, the red dragon equivalent in this game, there is a trick that you need to take care of it though, so I'll talk about it when I get to it. We're just gonna keep heading down these ways. Like I said, it's a little bit longer than if we would have went to the northwest area, northwest staircase at the beginning, but I'll do that in the next one. So now when we get to this floor here, there's the north or the south there. We're going to go into the south one here in the middle. If you go to the north one, it takes us to basically a never-ending loop that loops around on itself. So we're going to take this one because this one will actually advance us. And once we go down this staircase here, we're going to run into a new enemy domain. And in this enemy domain, we can run into the greater renders, the red horrors, and the neutrinos, which are the armored knights, the red dragons, and the stonemen's versions in this game. So these greater renderers, if they have less than 25% of their health, they will cast aura tap 75% of the time. So one good way to take care of them without causing that flag to be raised in their AI is you just attack them once. That does about like 30 to 35 damage, and then you use the Mind Slay on them, and that'll do over 60 damage, and that will finish them off, and they'll never get a chance to use that aura tap. So that's why I wanted to get to level 19, so we get that Mind Slay, so that we can deal with those greater renderers really easily. So here we are on the bottom floor. The Techno Goddesses, if we would go through on the indoor there, through the gray tiles. But when you first get down here, we want to stick on the outside here, because this is going to take us to the path to a bunch of treasures, including the Omega Rifle. So here are the red horrors. The first thing you want to do when you run into them is cast the PSI block, because they will cast the stare spell, 25% chance to cast stare, and so basically they're almost just like the mad renderers, the axe knights, where they're going to try to put you to sleep and then, or knock you unconscious basically in this game, and then just beat you down. You can see they're hitting really, really hard, and basically if they knocked us unconscious, they'd probably just defeat us. We wouldn't wake up in time. So, like I said, the first thing you want to do, cast that PSI block. That'll make sure that, greater than 50% chance that it works, and that'll make sure that they can't put you to sleep. So even if it doesn't work the first time, you just want to make sure you keep using it until you work. Like I said, there's a 7/16 chance that it doesn't work, so like 40-some% maybe, but like I said, it's more than 50% chance that it will work, and it's basically a lifesaver. As you can see, the greater renders, same thing. Hit them once, then cast the Mind Slay. That finishes them off really easily. We go all the way to the south here to this final chest. Well, it's not the final chest. There's one treasure chest right below the Vesti, the Techno Goddess. I don't know why it's there. It just contains the another uranium core. Just a pointless item. Now I could warp out of here, but I still want to fight that one last enemy. The only enemy we haven't encountered yet, the Neutrinos, which is this game's equivalent, the Stone Man. Has a lot of hit points. Doesn't have a very good resistance to the stare spell, so you could potentially put these guys, knock them unconscious with the stare spell. But it's very similar to the guard that shares their palette with the sonic orb. You might be able to put them to unconscious easily with the stare spell, but they seem to get out of it really quickly. Like, you hit them once and then they'll get right back out. So I'm just saving my PSI and just attacking them. But now that we've met all the enemies, all we have left is Vesti and the Neverborn to defeat. We got all the other enemies in the bestiary. And, oh, well, actually, technically we haven't. We still have I have still to defeat the Great Spawn, but I have the Great Spawn when I was doing the level up between episodes. I have a Great Spawn, so after this episode, after I save the game, I'll show off that Great Spawn, its stats, and me defeating it. So we're gonna do like we did. We're just going to buy skunk spray just for safety, and then on our way to Tia Naar for the final, we will do similar just at this episode where we will cast that, use this, cast the repel spell or the cloak spell, heal ourselves up at the inn, and then use the skunk spray after the repel wears off to minimize the amount of counters going to the final dungeon to Tia Naar there. I will be gaining one more level. I'm going to just use the Omega Rifle just to gain just a little level. Most of the enemy stats are pretty much the same as in the base game, but it seems like the Neverborn, the final form of the Dragon Lord in the base game, seems a little bit stronger in this game. So the extra level will help out just a little bit. It'll give me about 7 more PSI points and 11 more hit points. So might be basically the casting of one more aura tap and just like I said, more survivability. So I will gain that level between episodes here, and just save my game right here. And then, like I said, I'll show off the defeating of the Great Spawn, and then I'll meet you back here at level 21 for the final push to defeat the game. Take care, have a good one. Thanks for following along. So here we are. Here's the Great Spawn. I mentioned that most of the enemy stats seem to be the same. I think they may have hacked this guy's AI a little bit, because they don't seem to run. There's usually like a 50% chance to run all the time, but they actually stick around. They seem to stick around more frequently in this game. There were quite a few times where I fought Great Spawns, got them down to 1 hit point, hit them 3 times, and then they'd run away finally. So I guess I was just lucky here. They just seem less likely to run than in the base game. But well, there it is. So take care, have a good one. I'll see you in the next and final episode. Bye.